Okay, I almost missed this one. I went on to the next slip of paper because I see Annie. I'm like looking, okay, Crown Light, Annie. Oh, wait. Pin number 2 for this customer. There again, we're back up though, anything. So what do y'all want to see? Let me know in the comments. Nah, don't do that. It's too late anyway. I already turned it. How about Swoop Magnifier? I come up with that name because that's like the handle for the magnifying glass. I just translated that to a diamond pen. Sounds good. Okay, roundy the ends. Nice round. Round the other end. About like so. And this one I just eyeball. Yeah, about right there. Then the swoop. Works for me. Take a little peek. And what can I say? When it's right, it's right. Nice. That's a fun shape to turn. Yeah, 4 alternating again. All right. That blank looks familiar. Did we just do that one? We did just do that one. We're getting there. They're piling up. This is one you have to think about when you mount on the lathe. I consider this shape to be directional. I consider that to be the head, and that's the tail. Now, if you prefer to use it like that, that's on you. That's great. That's the point. You can use either end. When you get tired of working that way, you can turn it around and work this way. That's what it's designed for. But all things considered, I consider this the head. So, with the color layout, what do I want to be the head and what do I want to be the tail? Think about a meteor coming down to Earth. That's the hot part. And it cools down into red. So that's going to be the head. Of course, if you're the customer and you want different, let me know. I'll turn it around. I do what you want. It's your pen. Also notice, round the blank not so much, but because this is a square blank, as I true it, I'm putting a rake on this one. This end's going to be fatter than this end. So I'm digging in a little bit more as I get toward the tail. I'm trying to make it so that it's got a raked look. You know, I don't want to go overboard. I don't want to be real obvious, but just slightly. I'm going downhill. Again, use your ears. Right there. And you can hear it. As I'm cutting that out, you can hear it. And that's close enough. It'll have just a little bit right there and there. That's what you were hearing. We'll get rid of that in a minute. Okay, there again, it's a 4 bump. But this one, again, I'm going to favor angling it that way. So I want to, instead of centering it, I'm actually pushing it. I'm pushing everything back. So it's 32, 48, and 16, roughly. This one's more of an eyeball pen. I just use these just to kind of get my bearings. And on this one, also you got to notice the color transition. So, could I have made the valley a little bit? Yeah, I probably could have. But it's where it's going to land. But you'll have a yellow bump, you'll have an orange bump. This one's going to be multicolored, and then you'll have red. But yeah, in hindsight, I probably could have gone, actually I probably could have gone up a little further and centered that, but it's all right. Flower girl blanks, you really got to pay attention. When Kayla puts her flowers in, she has shapes in mind. You can see it. And when you're doing it, where you put, they just land right where they need to be, but you really need to be cognizant of where those flowers are to bring them out, make them pop. You want to put them in the bubbles. You want to cut down between them. You know, you've got to pay attention to things like that. I'm not going to favor one vendor over another. We got a lot of good vendors. But I am a Kayla Cooper fan. I really am. What she does is amazing. Helps when your blank vendors are turners too, because it gives them an insight into what they're creating. When they put them on a lathe and actually turn them themselves, they understand things that turners see. Likewise, it's good for turners to understand the casting process and understand the blanks and what's going into them. There's a lot of people think it's just like kindergarten chemistry. You're just pouring stuff in a mold and that's all there is to it. And there's not. Blank building is very complicated. It's beyond me. I know the basics and I do dabble in it. That's why you're not going to see blanks that I create in our shop, because I'm just not good enough. I can't hold a candle to these guys. Especially when you do it consistently, blank after blank. And the color's got to be the same throughout batches. The consistency's got to be there. bonding issues are really big. Your materials, if you're doing hybrid blanks and mixing materials, those materials got to bond. Even something like this, the colors, that yellow's got to bond to that orange. It could be a problem if it doesn't. You know, we all got to start somewhere. But I see a lot, especially on Facebook, of people just starting out in casting, trying to sell their stuff, and I mean, it can be bad. At least with turning, you can see what people are doing. You know, it is what it is. This is the item, this is what I turned. You either like it or you don't, but just because a blank looks pretty, it might be total trash to try to turn it. And that's the cold hard truth. As if anybody's going to listen to this anyway, but I'm not splitting hairs on that one. All right, new 4-bump. We haven't done that one yet. Oops, forgot the bushings. I'll have to take care of that. If you happen to be watching it this far in, which I seriously doubt, and if you happen to have your name on one of these labels, I'm trying to be cognizant of it. It's hard to remember, especially when you're dealing with so many blanks, but again, it's a privacy issue. 99% of people couldn't care less. Probably 75 would love me to put their name up, but I'm gonna play it safe. Anyway, here we go, new style 4-bump. This one's quick and easy. All we need to do is find the middle. Bloop. Right about there. Now, contrary to what I was saying on the last one, on this one, even though the color transitions further that way, this has to be in the middle. It's a symmetrical issue. I can make them lopsided, and I have, and it does work. But most customers want it to be symmetrical, and you're going to want the valley in the middle. Pig sticker. Why is it a new style 4-bump? Because it ain't the old style 4-bump. That was one of those ones we made up on the fly. Carol's like, well, what do you want to call it? And I'm like, well, it's a 4-bump. And it's like the new 4-bump. And we just really didn't go from there. It just ended up being a new 4-bump. Of course, seeing how it's been around since about 2018, 2019, kind of old itself now. Alright, on a nice S-swoop. Not like that, that's good. And this is one I want symmetrical, so I'm going to flip it around. And try to do the exact same thing on this side. Now, first thing I got to judge the bump, so I'm looking at that, and I'm looking at that. How far out does it come? But as I keep shaping, I don't want to go too far because it'll end up smaller. So I'm going to stop there. Now I'm going to work on the swoop. You always go back and fine tune it. Give yourself room though, you gotta give yourself room to work. Now admittedly my eye is off. I always exaggerate this side. No matter what I do, that always looks bigger, even if it's smaller. It's me, I realize that. So I take that into account when I'm doing this. So to me, this still looks like it's a lot bigger, but I know I'm getting close. But I still got too much meat right in there. I can really gauge these bumps because they're right next to each other. And I'm just looking at it, I'm standing back and I'm just eyeballing it. I'm judging it, do I want to take any more out? And no, I don't think so, I think that's it. I wish somebody would invent a lathe that had a push button speed control, because I use the same 2 or 3 speeds for everything I do, and these lathes have a dial like a volume knob, and you're always searching for that. It would be so nice just to be able to punch a button and go right to. I need one at like 1100 RPM, I need one at 1600 RPM, and then I go full out. They're really the 3 speeds that I use on this. It's funny, they give you pulleys and belts you can change on these lathes. I've never changed the belts to a different pulley on any of these lathes. I always use the same big pulley, because when you turn, you want to turn as fast as you possibly can without vibration. And on these little pen blanks, that means full out. Now, if you're turning like even bottle stopper blanks, as you get a little bit bigger, you might have to turn it down a little bit, especially to start out till you get things trued up. If you're turning bowls with big, huge blanks, then you really, I mean, the big bowls, you're starting out at 800 RPM, which is like slow. Oh, there's a void. I knew I was feeling something, and this is what I was talking about earlier. No matter how good the vendor is, let me show off my Flower Girl blank. This is my Flower Girl, Kayla Cooper blank. They're the stilettos for sewing. It's double-ended. I use this tool all the time. But what I'll do is I'll pick out and I was going to cut this video, but I'm going to go ahead and show this process. This is going to take a few minutes. If you ain't into it, skip forward. If you've watched this thing this far, and you're watching this anyway, then you probably want to see this, so why not? I use medium, thick CA, medium CA. Drop a dab in there. A little bit of accelerant. And unfortunately, we're going to have to take a second to let it dry. See, it's still wet underneath. Push it down in there. Spray a little more. And now, just to speed things up, what I'm going to do is I'm just going to turn that off. The problem is if you go too hard, you'll pull that plug out like a cavity, like a filling in a cavity. It'll just pop back out. So you just want to lightly scrape at it just to smooth it. Having a sharp tool helps, and this ain't sharp. See what we did? That's the spot right there. That's actually another bubble. I'm not going to worry about that one though. That one will just come out in polishing. You'll never see that. But, yep. We'll sand the rest of that down. But yeah, I don't care who the blank manufacturer is. That happens. It's just air pockets and voids, and there's nothing you can do. Pressure pot works 98% efficiently, but there's always going to be one somewhere that you miss. Now, I am not happy that I've lost definition on that bump. Unfortunately, now we're getting into thin territory, but I got to make the choice. Do I keep that flat, or do I make the pen a little thinner? The correct answer is you juggle. Plus, I might get rid of that other void that was right there too. Now I gotta match it. Why is my thick blank not thick? It happens. It's just part of it. Now that side's a little bit bigger. Yeah. It was borderline. Take it down a little more. That's good. Sometimes it boils down to a judgment call, and my judgment might not be what your judgment is. You might have preferred I went the other way. I don't know. I gotta try to do the best I can with what I know. I'm actually amazed all these years from what I've heard that I usually hit it right and people are usually generally pleased. There really haven't been that many complaints, honestly, like there should be. I mean, it's like Goldilocks. It's either too hard, too soft, just right, too hot, too cold. Well, I get it. I'm just surprised that, for the most part, people are generally happy with them. I say that turned out pretty good. A little bit thinner than I want. I mean, that's bordering on a thin pen. That actually is pretty thin, but again, that's what I had to work with. You can see that void's all but gone. That's insignificant. A little bit of water, when she wet sands, that'll disappear. That's glitter. And the big void's gone. So we're good.